Hey, I hope you're doing well. I just got back let's see, 2 days ago from my month in California. Some quick thoughts here and a little bit of a sobering topic today. I met with two different past private students while I was out in California. One of them I actually worked with privately. We spent a couple days together and did some ongoing coaching. The other person I've worked with in the past, both of them have had some significant health issues. I won't go into to details, but significant. They've really both struggled with their health in the last year or two, and it's hard for me as a coach to see that because they prior to that, and still both of them still have a huge amount of like energy and life and passion, even though they've had some really significant challenges. But what it means for them ultimately is that they can't really pursue improvement the way that they did before. They both previously had a huge passion and desire for the actual process of getting better. And I'm going to figure out what my weakness is. I'm going to work on that weakness. I'm going to shore it up and improve it and have better results on the court. It might have been a technical thing or a strategy thing or a footwork thing or whatever. They had that like hunger for knowledge and improvement and just getting better, and they love that whole process. But here's the thing, I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a downer topic today, but it's really, really, really important for all of us to think about. What happens when something gets in the way of that? And it might be a health challenge, it might be an injury, it might be a family, emergency of some kind. Whatever it is, something logistically or physically or something relationally gets in the way. Maybe it's work, whatever. And we can no longer experience the thrill of getting a little bit better and then getting a little bit better and day after day, like seeing the improvement. And first of all, please never take for granted being in that position on an ongoing basis and day after day going out there and pushing yourself. I'm working at 41. I'm working really hard to fully appreciate and fully enjoy that process every time I get to experience it, because I just practically speaking and realistically speaking, I don't know when something might come up that could completely block that process and not allow it to happen for a big chunk of time. Or, God forbid, who knows, maybe ever again, injury wise or health wise, whatever. So, in both of these instances of meeting with and like working with these past and current clients, part of what I'm trying to help them through is just the emotional struggle of figuring out how do I not like we're kind of stuck. Like looking back at like the last time I worked with a student, we haven't really made any progress. Totally understandable because of the challenges and because of the the things on the table that are just getting in the way, the obstacles that are just very, very real and serious and way bigger than tennis, right? Like life stuff that's like way more important than, oh, but I got to fix my forehand. Like, I got to fix my forehand is just not even really a big priority anymore when something really big and serious like that comes up. So here's like the bottom line for me. Do you love something about tennis? Do you have a really deep like connection and passion with something about tennis other than the like dopamine hit of like, I'm getting better, I'm getting better, I'm getting better. Oh, I beat this player that I've never beat before. Oh, my rating went up by this much, in the last 12 months. Or my ranking at my club, has risen like X number of slots. Or I got asked to play, number one, singles. And in the past, or doubles. And in the past, I've always been the bottom of the lineup. Those like those like wins where we can like pat ourselves on the back, or I'm finally acing, my opponent, maybe it's a technical thing. Finally, I can like hit like a big serve. I'm acing my opponents. What if something gets in the way of that, like the climbing the mountain, and for a while we're stuck, or even we don't have a choice but to drop, and maybe we can play tennis, but we can no longer pursue it with like the enthusiasm and the energy and the passion and like all the time and the investment. So just think about that. Like, what percentage of your enjoyment or fulfillment from the game of tennis right now is from the dopamine hit? If you don't know what I mean by dopamine, like basically that's like the chemical, that's like the reward that our brain gives ourselves when we accomplish something. It's what makes us like feel good about sweet. Like I'm making progress, I'm accomplishing something. There's like a chemical release that happens in the brain, and it incentivizes us to go do more and better and more and better and more and better. So if something breaks that chain and breaks that feedback loop, what else is there that's deeper that can keep you engaged and can keep you connected to the sport, so you don't just completely go into like a dark, like, oh well, if let's just say hypothetically 100% of like why you love tennis was like that dopamine hit, and then that gets taken, like the improvement part of it gets taken away physically, or again, like relationally or career wise, or whatever. If that gets taken away, what else is there where let's just say you could go out twice per month and just play. Can you still love the game and still get out of it the fulfillment, the enjoyment, even though you're not like climbing the ladder anymore? Hopefully that makes sense. It's just something that I personally I reflect on anyway. Like I've had enough of my own injuries, not bad ones, or I mean there've been some bad ones. Torn rotator cuff, torn, ligaments in my ankle, like, but not like this, not like, these two. So it just kind of rekindled that thought in my mind. And it's something I want to work on personally, because I don't want to find myself in a really deep, dark place if, God forbid, I just don't have the ability to pursue that improvement side of things. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. I felt like personally it was important enough, I wanted to pass it on. Hopefully you're doing well. I'm going to get back on my normal routine and schedule now. Thanks for being patient with me over the last month. It's hard to even explain. It took me half an hour to explain like how much energy that trip like takes out of me, and it's just the excess, like the margin's just not there to do like stuff besides what like I need to do while I'm there and I'm in that environment. So thanks for being patient with me. Hopefully this video gave you a little bit of perspective, is helpful a little bit. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again really soon. Take care.